customers. I want to talk to you about something that is really unique to you. I've done maybe 75 or 100 of these interviews, and I talked to a bunch of people that knew you before. I talked to one person that's kind of a pseudo competitor with you guys, and I said, tell me something about Dave. And he said, that no one's going to know. And I thought he would, have something, that he could, some sort of insight that I would never read online. And he said, Dave is one of the few entrepreneurs that I have ever met that has figured out how to scale life. And this is a really big idea. And his comment was, it's easy to scale a business, but it's very difficult to scale a business and at the same time scale your personal and your family life and do it in a great way. And I wonder if you could just tell us a little bit about what some of your personal values are and your philosophies on how to scale your own personal life while you're dealing with this incredibly difficult and horrible and all-consuming thing we call a startup.
Yeah. Well, it's very nice of him to say. I'm not sure it's true, but I think a couple things. First of all, in my first startup, I definitely didn't scale life. I worked every single day for the first 2 years. I never took a day off. And then I finally started taking Saturdays off. I didn't take a vacation for the first 4.5 years. I couldn't afford it anyway, but I was broke. But
you're working Christmas. You're working Thanksgiving.
I'm working, yeah. I would go for Thanksgiving dinner and I'd go back to work, kind of thing. Yeah. But that wasn't going to work for me with a family, and my wife has a busy job, and so when I did this, I kind of had this thing like, okay, this is a great business. It works really well with 12 people. We're going to hire a lot more people. I should be able to make this work for me, and I should be able to make it work for them, right? Because this business has gotten to be really big with 12 people, so imagine what it could be with 100. I thought we would probably never need more than 100 people. I guess I was wrong on that. But a couple things. One of the things I did was I decided I was going to leave every day and go home and have dinner with my family at 6 o'clock. And I always felt like I should not be the first person out of the office, but I should be the last person out of the office. And so what that means is, I don't expect my team to be here after 6 either, ever. And there are some people, who will stay later, but in general, there's not a lot of people here after 6 o'clock. That does not mean that work stops at 6 o'clock, but people go home, they do work from home. I get back online sometimes at 8 o'clock. It's not a 9-to-5 job.
Sure.
But I'm home with my family from 6 till 8. My kids go to bed 8 o'clock, and I'll get back online. And weekends are sort of for family time. And so, it's a marathon, not a sprint. This is a great business. Obviously, we're in the position of we generate a lot of cash. We've got a almost 15-year-old business. We know a lot about our business. And we want to be really successful. We want to work hard, but we want to be efficient about it. And I find I get just as much, if not more, done than when I was working 100-hour weeks because I don't waste time. I've got a limited amount of time during the day, and I've got to be really efficient with it.
So if you were going back to the mid-'90s and you're starting Launch again, how would your work ethic and the way that you approach these 14-hour days, how would that change? Would you do some version of what you do today, or would you still?
I think I would definitely moderate what I did. I think I got kind of burned out after a while, and I think I wasn't that creative, and I think I wasn't solving problems that well, and so I'm not sure I would need to go to completely leaving at 6 o'clock because if you don't have a family and things like that, but I certainly would have worked a lot fewer hours. I would have taken more vacation. I would have taken time off on the weekends. I did notice when I started taking a day off on the weekends, I was happier,
Yeah.
I was healthier. A lot of things got a lot better. And so it just seemed very hard to do in the moment, but in retrospect, it would have been better for the business. It would have been better for my team. I think a lot of times my team felt they had to stay late because I was staying late, and I didn't really understand that until much later on. So that burns people out too, not just you. So I think people don't understand the cost sometimes of hours. And particularly now, it was a little bit harder back then. It was a lot harder to work remotely, but today we can work remotely pretty easily. And so, we should take advantage of that.
Let's give Dave a big round of applause. Thank you very much.